Hey, Renegade's Jeremy Burgess, the Detroit market expert, founder of Renegade Detroit Investors. And welcome to another week of The Idea. Last week we went over demographic information to pick your area that you're targeting and then drive-bys of that area. This week we need to go into continual digging for information. Once you've picked an area based on demographics and what you're looking for, and you've driven it and you have an idea what it looks like, what it feels like, what shops are close, and all that. Next thing you really need to know is you need current sales information. Now this is important whether you're flipping, wholesaling, or even buying it just for cash flow, right? And here's what I did, and it's very effective. You could use an appraiser, but an appraiser is expensive. What I did was I called up a bunch of real estate agents and I told them what I was doing, what I was looking to do. I was honest. I told them I was just starting in this particular area, and I offered to take them out to lunch and then give them money. For me, it was $250 because I know it was about 3 or 4 hours of their time, right? And I think that's very important. Everybody wants everybody to work for free, but if you won't, if you don't want to be that investor who's calling and, yeah, I'm going to do 10,000 properties in 15 minutes. You're going to make so much money, so do this free work for me. They hear that song and dance literally every day, multiple times a day, and that's probably why they're not returning your phone call if you're saying that. Be honest, approach them. Hey, I'm new. I want to get started. I'm going to compensate you for your time, and here's the information you need in your area that you picked. Preferably as small as you can keep it while keeping the number of properties available up. You need to pull all of the sales in the last 90 days. And you want to divide that into two kinds of sales: cash sales and finance sales. Your finance sales are going to be, homeowners primarily who are buying houses. So if you're interested in flips, that's going to give you a top number to work with. Then you want to really look at the cash sales. That's the most important, right? That tells you what people are buying and at what price. Once you have this information, you need to dig a little deeper in on those cash sales. And for all the cash sales, actually for all the sales, you want to print off the MLS listing and try and get an idea what kind of condition the house was in, right? Because there's obviously a difference between, a house that needed a lot of rehab and a house that needed very little rehab. It doesn't always say. Sometimes there's pictures, sometimes there's not. The information is not perfect, but you want to grab as much of it as you can and process that. And when you're comparing it, you want to compare apples to apples. So if it's a colonial, only compare it to other colonials. If it's, a bungalow, do the same thing: brick to wood frame houses, and most importantly, square footage and updates if that information is available. Usually square footage, hit and miss on updates. After you have all that, the next important thing you want to look at is days on market for both. You're looking for a sweet spot, a pricing sweet spot, right? And this is going to give you an indication on what price to buy at too, and what your competition is buying at. But also it's going to let you know what stuff sells at and what kind of condition. And the days on market are going to tell you. You want to avoid the long days on market. If something had a really long period of time on the market before it sold, that information is significantly less valuable than the stuff that maybe spent 2 weeks on market. Why did that house sell for 2 weeks on market? And compile all this information. It shouldn't be that much. If it's a lot of information, you probably picked too large of an area, and you need to narrow it down further to a manageable number. I'm a very visual guy. If you can't tell, there's my map. When I first started and I targeted very small areas, I like to see things visually. If that works for you, go ahead and mark these things on a map, just with like a red dot. It doesn't have to be anything really sophisticated, or maybe if you're more digital, you can do it online. Certainly Google Maps has that feature. where you could add addresses in and little flags with information and all that. But don't go too crazy on like memorizing this stuff. What you're trying to do is get an idea, what price should I be buying at, and depending on your exit strategy, what can I sell at, and more importantly, at what price point can I get low days on market. And an interesting twist on the cash sales, especially if you're looking to wholesale, right? When you have that cash sale, it doesn't tell you who bought the property. But you know what does is you have the address. You can go look up that address in that county where it bought, and then you have somebody who is a cash investor. So that's also a great way to potentially find people to buy your houses if you're going to go the wholesale route. So that was a lot of information right there. So that's going to be a pretty busy week. But once you've identified neighborhoods, did the demographics, you've driven it, you can, and then you need to dig into, okay, what are people buying stuff at? What are people selling stuff at? Are there finance sales? Are there cash sales? Determine condition, determine days on market. And now you're educated. So before you go out and you start dropping offers everywhere, that's really important information to have. And if you're going to sit down with a private money lender or a hard money lender, showing them that you have this information is impressive too. And you just need to know it. You don't want to overpay for something, and you don't want to be like a lot of investors where I just can't get deals accepted because they're pricing it way too low for the market when you're seeing everything else is going for this price, and you just, why, put in 100 offers, I can't get any accepted. That will tell you where you need to be depending on your exit strategy. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate your attention. Definitely really tired. You haven't seen me much the last 10, 11 days on Facebook and social media. I got another little push, and hopefully I'll be back on. Once again, Jeremy Burgess, founder, Renegade Detroit Investors. I really appreciate your attention, and thanks for watching another week of The Idea. Thanks, guys.